Should we continue? Should we start? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
So thank you again, Teddy, for this great conference, for all the insight and all the explanations. No, I think it's the future, so it's very important for us to understand how it actually worked and what it means. Although I think the younger generation is constantly working and playing and living in this kind of sphere, but of course it's important to see what we can do with it. So welcome, Nicolas.
Thank you.
I know it's a very quick change. Instead of doing it in French, we are speaking in English now. It's maybe better because we have a lot of English-speaking students here. Nicolas is consultant expert and virtual virtual reality.
Yeah.
Consultant, and he's doing different kind of engagement, consulting with companies, if I'm correct.
Yeah, very correct.
I thought something that you did just quickly. You did a showroom of Rolex, the watchmaker, which was actually great. And you had the impression you were actually in a real shop. It was done very quickly, and I think you mentioned you've done this in 3 days. Right?
Yeah, but because the new tools we can use today to create this kind of virtual showroom are very easy to use because I'm not a programmer, I'm not a developer, and I could create this kind of thing. I think, like Teddy said, we are becoming creators, virtual creators. It's really easier than a few years before, when every software that we have to use are very complicated to use.
Yeah.
And very expensive also.
Very expensive, yeah. And then we have Olivier Occelli, is actually the GM of Tourism Bordeaux and Congress Bordeaux. So everything that runs about tourism. How get we actually people in, right? For leisure and for business, on both parts.
Exactly.
So,
thank you.
Welcome, thank you very much. So yeah, well, should we start with all this kind of huge information? No, it is, for me, it is huge. I'm not in the same generation. How can we use it actually in the future? I'm just thinking about hospitality, tourism, certainly on your part. How can we actually increase our business and using maybe all this kind of new technology that is coming?
Well, it's a vast subject, but definitely for, I was quite surprised that when Mark Zuckerberg explained what he was thinking about Metaverse, doing a long video, very long video, several long videos, he never mentioned tourism, and that was something quite surprising. But yeah, there's so many possibilities with this Metaverse, as he's explaining us. So yes, you are in this field of tourism. You are learning about tourism and hospitality, and there's a different department, you know, about that for leisure. In Bordeaux, we are working on 3 main targets on leisure tourism, business tourism, and what we call the tourism proximité, which is proximity tourism, which is local tourism, which is quite important now from 2 years now. This is the one who make us our jobs. So, but it was quite an ancient strategy. It's not new. We didn't have just this strategy of local tourism for COVID, but we really it was really important for us to be strong as a local level, as a level of Nouvelle-Aquitaine, let's say, and even sometimes Paris, when Paris it's 2 hours train, so it's nearly local tourism. But definitely this Metaverse will have very different signification and opportunities in these 3 fields. if we take the field of leisure tourism, it was your question. You talked about a lot of emotions, and I think it's really difficult to. It will take years, many years, to really have this to transmit the emotions that you will have in entering a city, because it's not just entering the Cité du Vin, it's entering the city of Bordeaux. The tourists, they are not just looking for the Cité du Vin. It's one key important point of our destinations, but what they love is just to be seated in one place of Bordeaux with some friends and family and just smell the atmosphere, listen to the sound around, and not just then open their mask and be again in the same. It was funny, the one of I was remembering me in the computer, the family computer in the living room, and imagine you are here having a nice glass of wine, and you just opening with all your family things, and you are still in your home, wherever is you are living, and it's always the same thing. You are at the same place. I think that COVID, if during these 2 years we are becoming a little bit crazy, all of us, it's just because we didn't travel, and it really show us the lack that we have without traveling, just being at home or in your always at the same place, not traveling as much. And I think, well, Metaverse will, in this field of leisure tourism, after we can speak about the others, but it will definitely, for me, not taking over this field, but it can definitely enhance the experience. What was interesting with the Star Wars ship is that to be in this attraction, if I understood well, you are not staying at home. You have to travel to LA or I don't know, to New York. I don't know where it is exactly, but you are still to travel, and then you are having an experience like you go to Disneyland Paris and all this. So you are traveling. Yeah. So this is really different. That's between the difference between traveling and having an experience. But if you are in Bordeaux, of course, it will be so excited to have before your trip or during your trip to see the harbor of Bordeaux in the 19th century or 18th century, exactly what we still have some augmented realities, things that we can see. But that will be really interesting. But it will take, I don't know, it's interesting to have your opinion, because for me, it's growing very fast, but the design is not growing as fast as I could imagine.
Yeah.
I remember in the first PlayStation, 1994, Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, I was on it, and it was really, I don't know if you know Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, it was one of the first game we had in these 90s, and the design was okay, it was interesting, we were really up to it, but and I was during many years I stopped playing video games because I was not really into it. And now my kid who is 11 is playing Roblox and Fortnite. And I watched the fun. I say, but he didn't develop a lot since so much since 90s. So that's one really nice question I have for. I think if you're keen into that, I cannot explain how if it will go very fast or not. This thing of design in the experience, because this experience is not okay, you are into it because it's a game, you are playing with your friends, but you cannot say that you have emotions doing this thing. This one part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very true. I agree with you at some point, because what I think and what we observe within the industry is that it's moving fast, and it doesn't move kind of gradually. It's really by steps. And sometimes you really have some kind of a rupture on things because it's just grow from 0 to 100 really quick. And this is what is happening with blockchain technology and with AI as well. But it's really about the core infrastructure of information technology, because 5G was a breakthrough in terms of connectivity. But the thing is, 5G, I mean, you don't have 5G network everywhere, 5G services everywhere. It's not there yet. It's all about how the infrastructure will evolve, because the infrastructure is there, it's already mature. But the thing is, we have to make sure that the tech is distributed equally and that it's kind of cover the mass market to really enable this kind of experiences, because this is something we have to think about. All the data, because having a 2D experience require less more data than having a 3D experience with the 3D objects and all the polygons. And you know,
the site, it's incredible what we can collect with just the site.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And the best camera in the world is our eyes, because we can capture 1,000 million more of information and data than with any camera in the world, which is crazy, you know. And in order to render our natural system Heitz function, it requires so much advancement and breakthrough with the technology, and this is a tremendous amount of data that the current infrastructure right now couldn't support it. So this is it. But somehow it's advancing, and nobody can really predict the speed and how fast it will happen. But it's evolving, that's for sure. And one of the things I wanted to comment on that is that regarding local tourism, leisure, and all of that, even business, you know, what I think is that obviously any metaverse experience won't replace, I mean, real life physical experiences, experiencing the place, the sound, the smell, I mean, the spirit of the city and the experience and the people itself. But I'm thinking also about inclusivity, accessibility, because some people can afford to travel to Bordeaux to experience what it feels like to be in Bordeaux and what it feels to be at La Cité du Vent. So it's one of the ways to spread the brand of Bordeaux to another kind of audience that can have access to it. So we have to think about it that way. And it's, I mean, the truth lies something between. There is no white, no black, it's a shade of gray, I should say. It's about finding the right balance.
I have so like what you are saying is that when I want to go to some place, when I want to go to Paris, I do my research on Instagram, I see some pictures, I see, okay, so this picture is really good, and so now I want to be there.
Yeah.
So the metaverse will be the same. I can see Paris, but it will make me to go to Paris even more. Is it okay?
It will help us also give some kind of a taste of the experience before the real one.
Teddy is right, because we spoke very little about sustainability.
Sustainability, yeah.
And I think it's one big subject we can talk about, because we have sustainability for. We heard a few days ago that digital is CO2 emissions more than the planes. So this metaverse will definitely be very, very how do you say, that's very, well, very consuming about CO2, and perhaps planes will be more and more expensive. And I definitely agree. It will give, this is an opportunity for Metaverse to give people the opportunity to be like in this place, because perhaps they cannot afford the trip. So this is, and the one who, unfortunately, they have the money to afford the trip, they will have the possibility to come directly here. But I think inclusivity is one important point for Metaverse, definitely, yes.
Interesting question. Aren't you afraid that because you're giving this experience to people that they will just kind of the experience virtually will be sufficient for them and they will not come to Paris anymore?
It will be a matter of means, I think. If they have the, it will be really basic. If they have the money to travel, they the emotion you have in traveling,
The same thing.
The first point of our discussions. It's something that it's so deep inside you. When you go in another country, you discover new people, and this, it will not, unfortunately, it will not replace this feeling. But
we have as well the augmented reality, so we could give even something that this could be like even better with the glass, because here with the glass and everything, you can see things that you could not see in the real life, and make Paris even more attractive in your eyes, because it will be your universe. You're mixing everything that you like in Paris. So
yeah, go ahead, Nicolas.
What I want to say is I saw a study in about using virtual tours and the effect on people. We will want to go in the real place, or the virtual tour will be enough for them. And the conclusion of the study is virtual tours today are very, how to say, not attractive. I'm searching for my word. Ça donne envie, ça donne beaucoup plus envie.
It triggers the emotions that makes you want to go and really want to feel it in real.
Yeah. C'était une des conclusions de l'étude, effectivement.
Oh,
Very interesting.
Have it's a mix between a question and an affirmation. Because all the questions, you were right, is and the questions are really face the problem is what is the limit or the level of virtuality and reality.
Yes.
All the question is this, because the first thing I'm thinking about when I heard your question is, okay, maybe Metaverse could help me, could make people want to go and discover a place, and maybe also in the reality we have to possibly to rethink also what is a reality, to give some things that only exist in the reality, and the Metaverse is supposed to promote what I could maybe only see in the reality. You see?
Yeah.
For example, if you're in a Metaverse, there is a door, and you will see if you go on site, because this is a privilege of, it is how also
how do you combine?
Combine and interact like this. So this is a good question, and it's the same for a location, a hotel. Why should same question. What do you think about the interactivity dans les deux sens, oui?
What I think is that you are absolutely right regarding this, and this is really more about virtual reality, that for sure. But the what I think that will be one of the biggest breakthrough for the Metaverse mass adoption is augmented reality. Once the technology will be ready and will be there and will be accessible through AR glasses, that would be really tremendous because it's about augmenting the reality. Because you will be able to experience something to go visit Bordeaux or Paris or whatever, and you will have information popping, you know, on top of the building, on top of the Cathedral Notre Dame, you know, telling the story, and you will be able to see people, you know, doing those things that the guide tour is telling you, you know, and you will be able to experience the place itself, you know, and yeah, this is it, and I feel like augmented reality will bring more to the experiences and the emotion that virtual reality can do. But don't bury virtual reality because it's quite powerful. Because at some point, if the experience is very, very immersive, of course you won't have all of your senses, but your brain doesn't really make the difference. But I feel like Nicolas will tell about this better than I do because he's the VR specialist, he's the VR expert. How our brain function is that our brain doesn't make the difference between something which is real and something which is virtual.
What I want to say about virtual reality is we just we had a taste with Pokemon Go because with Pokemon Go we can create interests in real places with virtual things, virtual monster, virtual things to do in a AR app, and it's just the beginning. I think we can go really much further with augmented reality to create interest in real places, and it can also be tricky because imagine if an augmented app is really popular. If we don't pay the augmented app, we don't have virtual interest in the real place. So like in Facebook with the visibility of our page or publication, we have to pay to be visible, to be a point of interest in the virtual, in the metaverse. It can be tricky for the future. we have to think about this.
But this subject of augmented reality is will be really tricky because when you are in a place, you want to feel the atmosphere that we are saying since the beginning, and it is a time that you can cut with your digital habits. And one important thing that's more than 20 years I'm working in this tourism industry and in digital, and we developed many websites about it. It's really interesting, and I met so many companies doing this app for discovering the cities, you know, and then there's no app that has the market, and everybody is asking for meetings. I was in Lyon before, in Bordeaux now. I say, look, I have this app. So first I said, yes, that's fantastic. I say, yeah, let's go, let's try it. Let's do some tests with the people. And nobody was downloading, or yes, a lot of people were downloading this app because they said, oh yes, that's great, but nobody were using them.
You use it once and that's
once, and even though they say, oh yes, we go to Berlin for 3 days, I'm more culture, I'm more techno, I'm more like this, I'm more like that, and they say, oh yes, that's my trip for 3 days. He's doing it at home, and after in the city, that's it. He never open it. You don't want to be with your phone, and so I think it will be really interesting, this augmented reality, but it will be a real challenge because even just the smartphone didn't manage to do that. But of course, augmented reality will be more powerful than the smartphone, but it will be something like a challenge. So because if you pay the trips to be in the place, to really have these feelings of being in a restaurant with the waiter of Bordeaux, with the wine of Bordeaux, with the atmosphere of Bordeaux, it's just the time you say, hey, look, I don't want to all that. I just want to spend nice time with my family and my friends, and I don't want to be into it. So it's a tricky. It will be a tricky situation at one point.
You know, I have mixed feelings about this. You're right about, I mean, experiencing the moments without any digital distraction or whatever. But I think that it's more about how the experience is designed.
Mm-hmm.
If it's designed to move seamlessly between the physical moments and the digital experience, if it's designed seamlessly, I think that people won't perceive that, you know, something is happening, that I am moving from a physical experience to a digital one. And it's all about the design, I think. And the design, it's totally attached and associated to the tech itself and the device, the medium, to, you know, to that will give you access to this augmented experience. And right now with the phone, I have to agree, we are not there yet.
Yeah.
Definitely. But one of the interesting thing is that even when we are having dinner or lunch with our family, our smartphones are never far away. Look at here.
But
Just saying.
that's another subject we have to talk about it now. It's dependence. It was a two. It's pollution and dependence, because we have to talk about this at one point. Exactly what you are saying. We want to have a quality time, but this is here. And we even ban this at table now for when you have kids at home. You are banning it, but you have to ban it because it's like drugs. And so I think we don't have to be afraid about words, because okay, metaverse, but of course it will be the future. But what about dependence and pollution? It's something that's perhaps will cut directly this technological parts. I don't know. Yeah, it's the
design. You have to find a way between.
I agree.
The design. Definitely.
Just reacting on that, and I have a question to all of you. Considering the fact that AR can make you interested in some certain places, like he explained with Pokemon Go, for example, don't you think, or are you not scared at all that virtual reality, specifically where you're inside, isolated, can get humans like distant from the actual physical world?
Yeah.
From the physical world or from other human beings?
Both.
Too addicted to the virtuality.
Yeah, it's becoming
if you're thinking really long term, one of the interface, human computer interface that is imagine to interact with virtual reality is direct brain interface, and it can be a real how to say. Quelque chose qui va nous éloigner de la réalité. It can distance us from the real reality, because we can in a few years. I think we will have some difficulties to differentiate virtual world from real world. You talk about the graphics that are not at the level of 2022, and I couldn't agree more. Virtual worlds are not very beautiful from what we imagine, but when you see something like the last Unreal Engine 5 experience with Matrix,
getting more and more better.
It's very difficult to differentiate virtual actor from a real actor, and I think it will ask a question about what is an actor. What we can create a new movie with actor when they were young, and it will ask question about what are we
What
as
is reality?
humans. Yeah, what is reality? It's all about the what Matrix is about.
Which is very true. But to add on that, I would say that this is what the metaverse is about. It's about merging the two worlds, and it won't be at some point we won't be able to make the difference about what is real and what is virtual because it will be the same.
You think that's positive?
Sorry, I didn't
You think that's positive?
I don't think it's positive. I don't think it's negative because we will bring everything we are, we will bring everything we do into this new space. This is what we are. This is evolution. The technology is just the medium. Now it's how we will use it. We will use it for good. We will use it for bad as well. Everything will be amplified. The best, the good will be best, and the bad will be worst. That's it. You know, and it just questions us as human societies, who we are and how we socialize and what will be our legacy to the future generation. Look at the nuclear power. We have light, electricity all over the world because of this, but we can use it also to kill people. This is it. It's a tool. Now what matters is how you use it and for what you're using it. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
This makes sense.
No, I have a different question.
Okay.
So like in the presentation you just mentioned that just imagine that someday a guest will come to your restaurant or to your hotel and you know everything about him. Like you know what he likes, how he wants, like what is the exact temperature of water he wants, how he likes his pillows and all those things.
Yeah.
Which is good, but so like let's imagine this in a restaurant. If a guest comes in and you knows exactly what is his palate and what wine he prefers and all those things, so maybe like 20 years down the line, I should not hire a sommelier because I already know my guest's tastes and everything, whatever he prefers.
You will hire one, but a virtual one. It will be way more powerful than any human being because it will know everything. Everything. What is the name of this course to be one of the top sommelier in the world?
CMS, Court of Masters.
Exactly. Do you know how difficult this is?
Yes. Yes.
Think about exactly. Think about a machine. Piece of cake.
Yeah, exactly.
This is it. Imagine if you power charge this machine with data from the customer. This is how I mean the way we live our lives will change. It's already changing. Some jobs from the past just don't exist no more. This is changing. Now it's about it's good or bad, I don't know. Me, I'm a very positive person. I'm totally human oriented, even if I'm deeply involved into tech. But the thing is, I think that it's giving us the opportunity to bring back the people, the human, at the core of the process. And the core of the process, it's about easing I would say, the useless task, and to keep the thing what makes us human at the core of everything. Discovery, human interaction, everything that gives value to people, and not just choosing the right one to go with the right research, with the right fish, with the right, it's about the conversation, the human interaction. So instead of having a sommelier, you have someone who will just be there to make the guest feel comfortable.
And it will maybe also create new jobs.
New jobs as well, yeah, because you will have to train the AI, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
This is it. Yeah.
And wouldn't it be more interesting to use microchips in our brains to improve our skills? No, but rather than hiring a virtual person, it's still a real person.
This is the next step.
With augmented capacity.
This is the next step.
But I was about to say that the best service will be a human service with the knowledge of the data.
Of the data, exactly.
That's the best human service, because you can still, I think when you are serving a wine, you have to, if the person, you don't want to, even if I like this wine, perhaps one day I would like to discover something new.
Exactly.
And that will be the problem for the machine, because it will have to ask questions to know a little bit more about the person. And that's the interesting points of mixing the human and the data. I think that will be the best way to do it.
Going down that road, it's something pretty scary, because it's really about flirting with gods. Because we will be playing gods, because we are talking about how do we augment humans? How do we transcend human using technology? This is the next stage. Yeah, but it's coming.
Today it can be just an iPad. Today it's an iPad, because you have the wallet of the person going here. You know exactly what you are, the sommelier. You have all this background about wine, so you know exactly what you are going to propose in.
How you are going to engage with him.
Exactly.
So a small example, like my father was going to this restaurant, he was tasting the exactly same wine for the last 20 years and he liked it with the same dish, but the waiter one day said, you should try this new wine. And the robot cannot say this. The robot cannot.
Maybe at some point the robot will be able to say.
Yeah, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yes, maybe they can.
We have here.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, when it comes to investment, is it easy and safe to invest in Metaverse or in the real world?
When it comes to investment,
yeah.
Right now, it's complicated, because I don't know if you know the. I will show. Let me just have 10 seconds to. I will show you something. Up.
Okay.
At your conference, there were 30.
Okay, interesting. Just like that.
Oh my, I can't find it. No worries.
Okay, maybe I can count on that in the meantime. In terms of investments, it's so early. We are so early. There are very, very few players into that field. And most of all, it's a nascent industry, which means that there is no companies, no technology which is dominating. So it's risky, very risky, very volatile, but depend of your profile as an investor. You can make big money investing into virtual real estate because it's just skyrocketing at the moment. Cryptocurrencies as well, but you have to really go down the rabbit hole, understand all the intricate of the thing, how it works, the interdependencies. I mean, you have to be into the ecosystem. Like a Web 3.0 geek, a blockchain geek, a tech nerd, like for real. If you're not like this, I don't recommend to invest now. It's too early. Everything is die.
It's too risky.
Definitely.
I don't know if you can see my screen.
No, unfortunately not.
Seems like it's
It's on the other.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
yes,
can
we can
see.
see
We
it.
have two screens,
Okay.
so we can see. It's there actually.
Okay, so I believe right now we are right in the peak of inflated expectation about Metaverse. So I really don't recommend to invest because I think there will be a really disillusionment, and it will be like internet in the beginnings. It
yeah,
will be.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's a bubble ready to burst.
And you know what? I totally agree with you, Nicolas. You're very right, because everything, I mean, it's a bubble.
Yeah.
Remember, during my presentation earlier, I spoke about the .com bubble, right? We are in the same way. This is the same path. This is the very same pattern than the internet. The numbers are bigger for sure, but it's the same pattern. We will have a Metaverse bubble, and I can guarantee you that it's coming. And it's coming this year. It's a matter of weeks or months. It's coming. So this is why you have people like me to help companies and brands navigate into that space, because we are ahead of the curve. We are thinking long term. We are thinking about 5 years to 10 years, not immediately. That's it.
Because you're saying that we are just at the beginning of the red line?
No.
At the top.
The
At the top.
there.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
blue point.
Yeah.
The blue point.
And 5 years for you, it's just a core?
Yes.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Yeah.
5 to 10.
5 to 10.
The core,
Yeah.
the going down and up.
Yeah.
5 to 10.
So I have a question. Is this then generation driven? If we speak about being able to actually use Metaverse in 10 years,
It will be mass market.
it will be mass market,
Yeah.
but it will be the younger generation.
Everybody is using the internet nowadays.
More or less.
More
More
or
or less. It will
More
be
or
the same.
less.
More or less. Yeah, it will be the same as well. More
Okay.
or less. Yeah.
Just recently, there was a yacht that was sold for $650,000 on the Metaverse.
Yeah.
So it's already happening.
I mean, this is nothing. You have way more money involved into the Metaverse right now. A CryptoPunk or a board app being sold for something like that.
So the thing is that when the big investor comes into the action, and they think, sometimes they think that like big investors who have like billions in their accounts, so they are not that much, technology driven on that place of time. So they are always they have always a fear of left out of this thing.
FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, fear of missing out. So as a tech expert, do you think like it's going to actually going to happen, and do you suggest them to invest them now?
The thing is, you know what? Let me take a very brief example. Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
All crypto are going down at the moment.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And you know what time is it? It's time to buy. See?
Yeah.
This is it. Because if you have the resources, if you got the money, you have to invest. This
Yeah,
is what they're doing. They are investing massively because they can. You know why? Because the ones that will survive to this crash will be the Facebook, the Google, the Apple of the future. And they will be way bigger than the current big techs. This is why all those companies, all those VCs, they are investing at the moment.
We have another question.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering who the service providers of the Metaverse.
Ah. They are all fighting for that position. Meta comes out first, but all of them. Google, Microsoft, IBM, Apple, they are fighting for that position. It's about building the ecosystem to onboard any kind of enhanced digital services that you will use in real life. This is what a Metaverse service provider is. Provide access to transportation, banking, identity, leisure, discovery, everything.
So what role will different countries' governments play in?
This is it, in terms of regulation and to preserve their people, their citizens.
First, they have to do it for the internet because it's not done at all
It's
for the
not done
moment.
at all, yeah.
So
Like internet, there will be several regulations because the metaverse in the USA will not be the same that the metaverse in China, and it's not a prediction. It's a declaration of the China government.
It is.
No, but it is a decentralized platform. So how can it be different at the different countries?
Because we need structure. If we don't have structure, it's chaos. And it will be a mix of centralized governance and decentralized entities or group or communities under those umbrellas, nation umbrellas. Because the US, they want to remain a nation, a government. They will regulate to make sure that they will collect the taxes of all the business operation happening in the metaverse, just like France, just like China, just like Russia. That's it, period. And who will be the one authenticating your identity in your wallet? You? No, the government. And based on this, you can take your identity and go do whatever you please in the metaverse. And unless you fulfill the requirements and respect the law of the country in the metaverse. Does it make sense?
It's dicey. It's still very.
They will regulate.
Yeah.
They will regulate no matter what. Just for the money. They will do it.
Yeah. Just a question. When we said that there is already like a Facebook, they renamed the company as Meta, so they are already interested about these new technologies. I think that all the GAFAM are already interested into it. Then don't you think that I don't know if for the internet it was the same? Is there also at the top of the loop for the internet? I don't know if we had also big companies that they were already interested into the internet before the big boom, and now I don't know if because we have already like Meta interested into it. I think it's maybe it's the proof that the project will work because there is a big company involved in it, and I think that they don't play gambling. So.
Before the internet rises, I think big company already believed, but did not know how to be in this market, and they try lots of things. I think it will be the same. Right now, we have Meta who announced Horizon to his new platform in the metaverse, but we have Apple. We are trying to launch his new headsets, and they have trouble doing it because augmented and virtual reality is not easy for mainstream market, for mass market, but I think they all want a piece of the big cake that is metaverse, augmented, and virtual reality, and they all try to do something like Microsoft is gambling all over the B2B market with this HoloLens platform, and I think they acquire new competence, new technology to be able to convert it to the mass market in the not so distant future. And they all want to be a part of this new tech revolution.
The thing is, the metaverse is there to stay.
Yeah.
And the big corporation, they have the money to invest. They are not interesting. They are investing heavily. Just, you know, the announcement from Meta, 10 billion investment. And they are seeking to hire 10,000 engineers only in Europe. We are not talking about the whole world. So they are not just interesting, they are already operating to dominate into that new space. This is the new race.
Then it won't go down.
They don't care unless
they know it will go down.
They know it will go down, but the one to survive, if you don't invest, you won't even be there.
Yeah.
You will be dead. That's it, and that's why they are investing so heavily.
It's like the period is a teaser, in fact. It's now we are talking about it, but during 10, 15 years, we will hear some voices about, but very little ones. But after it will grow.
Yeah, exponential.
Yeah.
I think like a student if I was working in a hotel or historical monument, what would you recommend me to do about today, about metaverse? Wait and see, or what should I do?
You have to go in the metaverse right now.
Yeah, you have to go right now. You have to understand what it is.
But by doing what for? Just one example is.
You have to approach people.
Is it virtual reality, augmented reality?
We are not yet into it, but
yeah,
we are aware about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
What is digitization?
It's the answer. It's the answer.
It's transforming
It's
the
the answer.
industry.
Because
my question could have been your question. Okay, I know everything is interesting, but what should I do today?
The first part is we didn't talk so much about B2B, about business tourism, and I think it will be. If it's going up like you said, it will be the first impact in tourism, and we saw it with a video conference during the COVID. We were not about to go to it so quickly, but with this 2 years of COVID, everybody is going there. And if tomorrow you tell me, okay, it will be because okay, the video conference is not so. So sexy, in fact, and it's a first of yes, it's like this. You're on your computer, but it's tomorrow. You can work with people in a room, and if you can go to what we said all of us, it's the lack we had during these 2 years. It's the corridors conversations, the coffee machine conversations. During a congress, when we welcome 3,000 people in Bordeaux for a congress in one subject, during the conference like we are here, it's interesting. But after, when you are talking between you in the corridor and all this is also very interesting. And sometimes for business, you are signing contracts, not just here on a table. You are signing contracts in the corridor because you are saying, okay, we do that. It's about strategy. So if tomorrow, yes, definitely there is different rooms, nice rooms, where you can go, where you can speak with other people, where you can. It's all about design, really. It's all about design. It's why I first say my trail about Lara Croft and Fortnite. And today we are not. I think we are not ready for that, because we will be there once it will be completely neutral. Yeah, you have your glasses. You didn't have to take that. It's glasses, and you just swipe like that and go quickly. And perhaps be there. What we are talking a lot for conferences is to have perhaps big worldwide conferences, but with regional meetings. The European meetings will be in Bordeaux, while at the same time there will be the Asia meetings in Hong Kong and all this, and everybody will be connected, but there will be some human connections, interactions. So that will be something in between that it's interesting. But it's all about connected to the future of the airplanes a lot. All this business tourism. We are really in the middle of situations, and we don't know if the governments will do some actions to limit this or not. And I don't have the answer today, and this will change a lot. But for sure, for what we call corporate tourism, it's already done. We know in Bordeaux that in the years to come, we will have less corporate business. The people who are going by their own or have a meeting in Bordeaux for one day for 5 people all over the Europe or something like that. This will go a little down. But we are betting on bigger congresses because people want to meet. And we are talking about a lot with the Congress Center, and we are imagining the future of the Congress Center, and perhaps with special rooms dedicated to VR at just next to the real rooms. So it's all about this mix, the combinations.
And it already exists for some congress and some showroom. Trade show. I'm thinking about Laval Virtual. I don't know. It's an old event, more than 20 years old. Focus on virtual reality, augmented reality, this kind of thing. And with the COVID, the COVID events, they had to reinvent them to how to propose their trade show in a COVID world. And the answer is a hybrid events where they can meet. We can meet in real person, but there also is a virtual event with virtual stands for companies to receive people from all over the world, even if there is a restriction for traveling.
Yeah, which is true, and I really I agree with both. They're absolutely right. It's always about, think about the metaverse not just as something totally virtual. You have to think about the metaverse like redesigning experience, by a combination of real life experience and digital one. It's not something that is separate. It's about first understanding the capabilities and the future provided by the technology itself, and stretch your mind, think out of the box to imagine the kind of experience, new kind of experience you can design with those technologies. And those experiences have to bring value to your audience, to your customers, to your clientele, you know. And this is it. And I mean, think about this hotel, okay? How we are having a Metaverse experience right now.
Yeah.
This is it. It's a mix of physical and virtual. He's not here physically, but he's here with us.
But tomorrow he will be seated here.
Exactly. As an hologram, but
Yeah.
he will be there, you know. And this is it.
Yeah.
And think about also, stretch your mind. Just a very, I would say basic, but kind of innovative way to monetize the hotel room. If you tokenize the room and you put it on a blockchain, this is what it is to tokenize. Okay? You can literally pre-sell all the room for all of the year. Per night. That's it. Like one token give access to one stay. And if people want to book, they have to buy that token. And then they can book the room actually saying, okay, I want that date. But they already got the token. They don't have to, you know, because if they're traveling a lot, they don't have to think about, yeah, I have to buy, I have to book. They already got the token. They just have to go onto the website to say, okay, I have my token, I want that date. That's it. Imagine how you can ease the process. And for B2B corporate, for B2B business, those guys, they are not just buying one stay. They are buying like days, weeks, months in advance. So you can literally pre-sell a bunch of tokens that will give access to stays to corporate customers. And they will use it as they want, when they want, if the room is not already booked by someone else owning a token as well. See, this is it. I mean, you really have to understand the tech and to stretch your mind to think about a way to provide better services, better experiences, and a greater value to your customer. This is my recommendation.
Do we have any questions from online? No? Okay. Last question. It's already time. I'm sorry, it's flying.
So what I understand with DAO, like DAO, is that so like I can work with 5 different companies at the same time at whatever time I want. Is that so?
More than that, it's like you can be part of different decentralized organizations. It means that you don't have an authority, right? An authority, I mean, running the system. It's all the people involved into the DAO that constitute, that make the authority. See it like the digital version of democracy, like the real one.
Cooperation with freelancer,
exactly.
with freelancer.
With freelancer.
Yeah, that will be a mix of that.
A mix of that.
A cooperation with freelancer. Yeah.
Exactly. But each voice matters because each voice is a token and each token have a voting right.
Good. Thank you very much. It's 5 o'clock.